Results-wise, perfect response after the international break. What's that been down to?
Well, we played very, very well at QPR. That was a simple thing of QPR, and the other night we didn't play as well, but found a way. And I think that's important too. There's times when you don't play as well as you would like, but you still find a way to win. It's not a bad trait to have, and I think that was evident the other night. I was comfortable without us ever reaching the heights of the week before. So I think that's important. I mean, Sunderland had decent possession against us, but the goal, the save Sam made was, I think, their first effort on target. So we were comfortable without reaching the heights. So another game tomorrow.
Yeah, two different performances, like you say, but does it please you more that they can pull off the win?
Well, I think it's vitally important. Look, everybody wants to play the way we did against QPR. We want to get them heights again. It doesn't happen, unfortunately. And that's part and part of football, especially in the Championship. People go up and down very, very quickly. Teams go up and down very quickly. So it's important that you find a resilience when you're not playing well, that you do the basics, do enough to win, which I thought we did. So another encounter tomorrow, another tough game against a very, very decent Ipswich team. We know what to expect. So this is the Championship. It's now in the throes of it, in the third game in a week, just before the start of, obviously, December, which is a crucial month for everybody.
4 wins in a row in September, chance to make it 3 wins in a row tomorrow. How important are these mini runs going to be over the course of the season?
Well, if you're going to be there or thereabouts, you've got to be putting some sort of run together. You know, I've been delighted, apart from the first 2 weeks of the season, where, you know, we had 2 disappointing results at Reading and Cardiff. Since then, there's a certain resilience about us, and form-wise, in terms of results anyway, it's been very, very good. So we're making progress, that's all we are. Still a long way to go, but we're where we want to be, which is vitally important.
And defensively, we look very different now to the first 10-15 games. How much credit do the ones who've come in deserve?
Well, look, we know what a big difference John made, and obviously losing them is a big blow. But the reason why we brought in Chris Samba was exactly for this situation that we find ourselves. You know, and I think that's the beauty of having a squad. And like I keep saying to them, you know, I'm a manager that stays with people if they're playing well. There's times when I'm looking at it and thinking, do I change it? Do I freshen this up a bit? But I would have been disappointed after QPR if I hadn't been playing, after putting in a good performance like we did. So people like Grealish and Lansbury, and who people on the sidelines are itching to get started, and they'll have a point to play. They'll have a bit to play when they get their chance.
How pleased have you been with the likes of Jack and Mile, their progress since coming back?
Excellent. You know, the two of them have had awful injuries. You know, abdominal injuries, groin injuries are not great to have, and certainly with Jack is a freak one. So he showed us a cameo role of exactly what we're missing the other day when he came on. I thought he'd give us, he's even going into slide tackles, which was nice to see, which, you know, we forget he's only 21. So his big part of the season, like Lansbury, and, you know, maybe is just upon us. So it'd be good to recall on somebody like him.
And Kodja, we learnt on Wednesday that he's going to have a second operation. What's the very latest on him?
Yeah, it'll be done probably later this week. It's the worst possible news that we can have, but it's football, and we've been dealt some cruel ones over the last few weeks, in particular with John and Kodja, and obviously Grealish and Lansbury and Mile, and we've managed to cope. So hopefully we'll manage to cope until January, and then we'll see if we can do something to try and help the squad and help the team. We won't have millions to spend with the financial restrictions that we're under, but as I've just said to the press there, the radio, sorry, that 3 players in particular this year, Snodgrass, Onoma, Johnson, have all come on loan. So you don't have to spend millions. It's always a bit more difficult to find a loan player, but that's where we are, that's what we're looking at, and that's what we'll try and find.
And a couple of the other longer term guys, JT and Scott Hogan, what's the latest on them?
JT's plugging along. We've just got to, it's time. It's time for him. He's now 3 weeks in. Scotty Hogan's had, as I said, an abdominal blockage. He's fine and within himself, but he's had an internal operation. So, you know, we've just got to be patient with that one, and I would think he's going to be another 3-4 weeks at least as well.
Moving on to Ipswich then, they made a pretty good start. What are
Very
you
good.
expecting tomorrow?
Very good. Well, we know what to expect from a Mick McCarthy team. I think he's been there 5 years now. In my opinion, very, very underrated. Mick, he's a very, very capable and very good manager. He's been around the block a long time. You always know what you're going to get. They're going to be up and at you, and never give anything up, like Mick himself. You know, if ever a team mirrors their manager, then a Mick McCarthy team will mirror him. So it'd be tough, very, very organised, and at the moment they've got a goal threat. They took the 2 boys from Rangers, and Garner and Waghorn, and that's given them a focal point where they've scored lots of goals, and they were very unfortunate the other night when they conceded in the last minute. So tough game, typical championship game, typical championship, and very, very difficult opposition.
It's the owner's last game before he flies off again. You want to send him off happy, I'm sure.
Well, I think he's booked in for another speech. I'm only kidding. Yeah, I mean, look, the owner is he's right behind everything and leads from the front. And it'd be great if we can make it 3 out of 3 for him. And then I'm sure would have rounded off his week very, very well.
And just to recap, in the week you met Prince Will and Kate. How was your experience?
Well, there's sometimes in my job where you get these perks if the right one. How honoured am I to meet the future king and the princess. They were a delight. He's a big Villa fan, knew a lot, was pleading with me to get Sam Johnson tied up and make it permanent. So I think that tells you that he's, you know, we're pretty fortunate to have one of our big supporters as the prince like he is. It's quite remarkable. So very enjoyable, I have to say.
Thanks, Steve.